Hey everybody, it's David and Brian with Greenwood Estates Realty bringing you August Real Estate Insight. And the topic this month is Denver's Seasonality Explained, the best times to buy and the best times to sell. Now we'll start off with what are the seasonality causes? So obviously here in Colorado we have weather. We've got the school year, which is a big driver. We have vacation, we have employment, and the last one is just how agents themselves follow along with the self-fulfilling prophecy of seasonality. So what we know to be true is outside of the pandemic years, we'll call it 2020 to 2022, this cycle always repeats. And it's important to know that because as your agent, as your fiduciary, right, our goal is to put you in the best position based on what the market is expected to do and what you need to happen. So
100%. Yeah, and I think the Denver market is kind of unique in its seasonality because of the extremes of the temperature, right? Freezing during this winter, most days can be nice. As well as, can be really hot during the summer. You go to markets like San Diego and there's, still some seasonality, but much less than we have here, in Colorado. And to David's point, right, this is true for most of all years, but you're going to have sometimes external influences like maybe significant rate increases or decreases that can kind of spur short-term activity in the marketplace. So this is just kind of more from a general perspective, but very, very important information here.
Now, the second component is seasonality affects single-family homes differently than it affects attached homes, condos, and townhomes. Now, why is that? Well, single-family homes tend to have more families in them. Families are driven by school more and by other factors, more so than those without.
Single family homes have more families in them, I guess.
Crazy, right? Crazy concept. But it's important to know that because if you have a condo townhome and you're going to sell it, the seasonality patterns might be a little bit different for you. And so what are some of the variables that we look at, right? New listings, the most are in June, the fewest are in August. Well, again, going back to school year being one of the main drivers, why would June have the most and August have the fewest?
100%. So every month, DMAR comes out with what they call their market trends report. This is like a 25-page report. I love to pour over these numbers because it has some really great stats and insights we love to share with our clients. And on page 6 of this DMAR report, they have the number of new listings charted out by month. And this is a 10-year backward look at what's happened historically with new active listings, and you can see the spike trough, and at the bottom of that trough, right, is December, and at the peak every year is in May, right? So based upon the seasonality, as you see here, if you're a buyer, right, you're wanting to look at the most number of new products available, right? Maybe you want to start looking in April, and find a property in April, May, and June, right, when there's the most opportunities out there. And then maybe if you're a seller, you want to compete with the fewest number of properties. Maybe you want to list earlier in the year before there is a spike in new listings. So this is stuff that we love to talk to clients about because it has huge impacts on what they can sell their property for.
Yeah, and there are definitive, tangible, strategic benefits to knowing even what weekend to go on the market. And we have, for many years, identified the best weekend of the year to list, and we're going to hold out for anyone that reaches out. We'll share that with you. Little secret, if you will, but it's important to know that, right? Because there's some weekends you might get a couple percentage more than you would have otherwise. And so it's important to know that. Now, what are the months with the most pendings, i.e. the most competition? The most being in May, the least being in December. Again, you can tell the seasonality there plays a big part. May, we're heading into summer, transitioning out of spring. Leases are over, school is ending. December, the complete opposite. It's cold or getting cold, snow is on the ground, holidays are here. So if you're a seller, it's best to list when you have the most competition, the most buyer shopping, especially if you have a unique or niche property, because that's going to play to your favor. Conversely, don't go sell a property in December that could benefit from one of those really good months.
100%. And you know, it's self-evident that, yeah, the most number of properties that go under contract is going to be when the most are available to purchase, right? So it's going to be like your May, June months. But when you drill down how the rubber hits the road in terms of, you know, practicality and advice we give clients, right? David just mentioned, if you have a property that is unique or niche, either really good niche unique properties, or you know, maybe right, I mean, it's the one property that has, you know, a wonderful location that backs to the Highland Canal, whereas, you know, the rest of the neighborhood, you know, doesn't. So you've got this big market premium, or you've got the one property in the neighborhood that backs to Hamden and University, which is a listing that, you know, we've had several years ago that was afflicted, you know, by that. Is really for those two types of properties, right? You want to expose yourself to the most number of buyers available on the market, and you know, so you don't want to list right up in November, December, because there's, you know, lots of fewer buyers, but you want to list at a time where there's a lot of eyes, because you know, for the property that you know is uniquely awesome, right? You want to have the most number of buyers to be able to bid that up. Conversely, you back to a busy road, or you know, you got something else, you know, interesting, got road infested house, right? You know, it may only attract an offer from 1% of buyers, right? But you want to have as many buyers to try to get that 1% of buyers, you know, out there to be able to make an offer in your house.
And the last piece is just the overall market health, right? Which we call this absorption. And my data-driven partner here is going to tell you a little bit more about it. I wouldn't do it justice.
So you know, without, you know, kind of going into too many details, really absorption. If you were to look at the most important statistic in order to describe the health of a real estate market, you're going to be looking at, you know, you look at absorption. Absorption really is. It's kind of defined as, you know, given the current rate of sales, meaning given how many properties are going under contract on a daily basis, how long would it take to sell off existing inventory, right? So it's, you know, basically the number of active listings divided by the number of properties that go under contract on a monthly basis, and that is your absorption. So really anything less than 3 months is a seller's market, anything more than 5 months is a buyer's market, and anything in between is going to be a balanced market. If you start getting into absorption, you know, under 1 month, I mean, you've got a very big seller's market, and that's where you're going to see, you know, double-digit appreciation, which we've seen, you know, for several years over the last 10 years. So, I mean, that's an important statistic that we keep track of all the time, and we've got, you know, really great handy, like, little cheat sheets and charts that we'd like to look at and help interpret for our clients. So they don't have to worry about all those details and statistics. We track them very closely, and we enjoy doing that on your behalf.
Yep. And it really leads to the question that we get, right? Which is, okay, understand the seasonality. Should I buy or sell now? Now, most agents, I think, if they were asked that question, their response is going to be like, well, do it now, right? Because they're going to benefit, in theory, right, in the near future with getting a closed deal. And our approach is a little bit different, right? We're focused on what makes the most sense for you, right? So if your timing is completely open and you want to pick the one best weekend of the year, we're going to tell you that, and we're going to plan for that. But a lot of people aren't in that position, right? They're planning within a 90-day window. So therefore, we're going to plan to optimize based on the season that you're planning to sell in. If that's in August, if that's in even November, right? There are strategic benefits to certain weekends, certain days of the week. And so really what we're focused on, given what we know about your situation, we're going to put you in the best situation possible for that season.
David has a certain weekend that he loves to list properties. I'll let him explain that in a moment. But why do you hire us as fiduciaries, right? I mean, think about it. You could follow our advice and do all the highest, best ROI items in order to, you know, sell to market, have your property packaged in the best way possible for marketing purposes. You could price it, listen to our advice on pricing it at the best price point you could in order to get the highest price point. But if you're not listing it at the best, most optimal time of year, those first two things are not going to be taken advantage of to the greatest extent, right? So we offer all the services of, help advising you on how to update your house, how to price it, and then also when to price it.
And if you stay with us this long, I'll share the secret with you. Don't tell anybody else, but the best weekend to list your house is the weekend after Easter. We have seen year after year after year, that is a very noticeable uptick in buyers returning to the market. The spring is in full effect. Holidays, the last holiday is kind of behind us. They've been traveling and everyone's ready to get into a home for summer.
But not only that, we're going to leave you with another secret that we'll have to tell you in person, and that's actually the day and the time to list in that week. So we'll leave that secret for the time when we meet with you in person.
So again, thanks for joining us today. And remember, we're more than just your realtors. We're your real estate advisors. If you have a question about anything related to real estate, please reach out. We're always here to help.